Hi all. I'm not having a good time here at the moment, technically. But let's try it. Let's try and get aboard. Nope. Oh dear. Hi. Sorry, I'm just messing around, trying to get. Let's have a look at this game Ezat against Kamsky. I don't know if you can see that there. Try and get my analysis board. Okay. Don't know if I'm able to type without losing everything here. Okay. Let's have a look at this game. So on the analysis board, so we saw d4. I'll put this in over here so we can start checking it out. Knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, queen c2. This is getting quite topical, this variation recently. dc, bishop takes c5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop g5, b6, rook d1, h6. Oh, I go back here. I think I need two monitors at this particular location. This is a bit tricky, to be honest. Rook d1, h6. And oh man. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to recalculate space requirements here. I need this board there, I need this board here. We need to see some buttons over here. Like these buttons. So what happened after rook d1 h6? The bishop went back, and then we saw bishop b7 a3, rook c8, e3 queen c7, bishop e2 castles, b4 bishop e7, bishop b2 a5, knight b5 hitting the queen, queen b8, bishop takes f6, bishop takes from knight d6, rook d8, and so rook d8, we saw b5, knight e7, knight takes b7, queen takes, and we have here this position with Ezat to move. I'm trying to make this one a bit smaller, I think, somehow. Let's make this a bit smaller over here. Let's get those buttons there, get a bit more space over here. So we've got Ezat to move. This is one interesting game. Unfortunately, Nakamura is not playing today. Otherwise, I would have definitely. He's one of my favourite players. I've actually uploaded a video just now about his game against Kramnik, which I found quite amusing. Okay. So what do you guys think of this position? That's not quite. Yes, that's the latest thing here. Queen c7. No, Queen c7's been played. Queen c7. No, white's castled. Queen c7. So white to play here. White seems to have, well, black seems to enjoy the c5 square. I don't know if we should flip the board actually. Flip or something. Let's get it from black's point of view. I'll flip this one. Flip. Nope, that's just applying to that one. Look at from the perspective of Kamsky, what would he be thinking about here? c5 square, d5. Oh, it's white to move anyway. So white to move, something like rook d2. d6. I'll leave this potentially for knight d4 to be useful. And bishop f3 to follow on the square. d6. Leave c6 behind. I'll flip this again, I think. So he's played rook d2. No, that was the analysis. So white's playing here. Oh, he has played rook d2. Okay, he has gone and played rook d2. Oh, there's a suggestion from Greschu 1987. You say a4 to fix the pawn structure. Yeah, he didn't play a4. Let's have a quick. Should you have a quick look at that? If a4 was played, yeah, I guess that was a move. I think rook d2 is also. I don't think black's going to play a4 here as a pawn sack or anything. Well, I'd be surprised. I mean, a4 as a pawn sack is yeah, d7. I don't think he can afford the time for that, can he? There's also a4, maybe bishop d1 coming up. No, I don't think so. So I think it doesn't matter about a4. I mean, it can be ignored anyway. So I think rook d2 just piling up on d7. It protects the queen, so that d5 we can also just take with the queen protected. So that against d5. D5 still playable there with knight d5. Or rook takes. Maybe d5 is still playable. Let's have a look at the stream layout. Okay. Does anyone want to see a different game? Actually, I'm not entirely sure this is the most exciting game. I think this is the board 1 game. I'm not really sure how easy it would be to switch to another game. That's another problem here. Yeah, there's a few, because there's loads of games going on. I don't really know how to switch. I have to rearrange everything and restart everything on the analysis board. So rook d2. If we just follow this game, it looks, I don't know. It could be heading for a draw, I guess. There's imbalances though. There's this backward pawn. Black's a bit passive. What does he do with this knight? It hasn't really got the d4 square. This pawn's quite solid. Goes in. I don't think black's got any sort of. I think he's got to work on somehow. If he can get a knight over here to c5. It's unlikely to happen. White's controlling that d5 here. C takes. This is actually better for black. This position has got c3. There's rook c1, and white controls that c file. Yeah, I'm not sure this is. I'm not sure this is great for black. It looks white's actually the pawn on a3 is very useful for stopping knight b4. In this scenario, as long as this knight's not given squares, white just controls the c file without any problem with the b4 square. So I wonder about leaving the pawn on a3 might be useful actually. So rook d2. If d5, that doesn't look that appetizing. If we go, say, queen c5, maybe just hitting a3, but leaving d7 behind. I think maybe just rook d1, leave d7 behind. D6 weakens c6, so maybe then knight b4 and bishop f3. Yeah, oh yes. I'll scroll on this. One sec. Make that go over there for a bit. Over there. I'm still having trouble reading comments actually. I really need two monitors up here, I think, on this particular configuration. This is not ideal, to say the least. So how Carlson doing? I got the gist of it in the match with Houdini. I think Houdini is going to beat Carlson, basically. The computers think very differently to humans. They see so much more information. This isn't a particularly interesting game, actually. It's just an experiment. I just thought I'll give it a go to see. But I think we really need the ability to check out more interesting games. Maybe the official website would be good for game flipping on the official website. But we have got an analysis board here. Yeah. Let's have a look at what's going on. If we do event highlights, and again, let's try looking at the game of Robson for a moment, and we'll just plonk that on top as an idea. So Robson, for a moment, let's plonk that on top. He's got an interesting position there as black. So what happened there? He played G3 and only G3. So it takes. What? Is this really the move? Oh, sorry, knight f6, no, plays c3 for the queen a4 check. If knight takes e4. And, okay, we got that position. And what else on the US team? Let's have a look. Akobian. So Akobian is... how's he doing? So he's playing white. There's knight b3 check threatened there. He's got a very interesting game actually. I think this is the most exciting out of the three. What do you guys think? Should we stick with the Akobian game? I think that's my favourite at the moment. Analyse Akobian game. What do you reckon? Out of the three, should we stick with this one? We could just have a quick glance at the other one on the US. So it's 4 boards, isn't it? 4 board matches. The other one's Honest Chuck. He's playing I am Abdel. So it's Egypt today. USA against Egypt. Okay, let's have a quick butchers on this. So Honest Chuck. Oh, Slav with Finchetto there. So white's... Oh, what was that? Okay, Queen E2. Ah. Alright, I think Akobian's is the most fun. Tasty, as we say, yes. Tasty. So, as Chris 2987, Akobian's game. We just stick this on the analysis thing. So I'll lose everything there. Just press that button deliberately. Let's just replay this. D4, knight f6, c4. E6, knight c3. Bishop b4, queen c2. Castles a3. Bishop c3, queen c3.
Check.
Queen e8, f3. d6, bishop g5. Knight d7, castles queenside. Quite fun. a5, e4. e5, knight e2. a4, g4. Very aggressive stuff. Knight c6, h4. ed, knight d4. Knight d4, queen d4. Knight c5 was threatening knight b3 check. So the king moved. Bishop d7, bishop e3. b5, it looks, I don't know if that's that entirely sound to do this, but Akobian here just retreated the queen apparently. Some little trick there. Knight b3, h5. So there was f6, h6, g6, and now he took rook f7. I mean, black seems to be on a back foot because I fancy white here because of this h6 pawn. that's a really dangerous attacking pawn, and this diagonal seems compromised after winning this, as well as c7. The knight's keeping a rook out of c1, but I suspect bishop c4 is quite dangerous all the time, and g5 is another idea. So the rook's holding g7 at the moment. Okay, what does black do here? Say he plays rook b8. Okay, hang on. Whose move is that? It's White's move here. So if we just go simply with bishop c4, bishop e6 forced. I don't know if bishop c4 is a good move. Might not be. Might not be the best. Actually, there's b6 here, isn't there? For d6. Well, that backfires with rook c8 later. b6. Something like taking. There's rook e6. That could be a disaster. What do you guys think about bishop c4 here? Bishop c4? Guess the move? 50 points. What do you think bishop c4? I'm going to have to rearrange my windows. I don't think this isn't really optimal to see in the chat much. No, second monitor soon on this laptop. There was a move in one of the other games. Alright, what's happening in these other games then? Just quickly. Robson game. Kamsky. Not much happening there. I'm in against Robson. Akobian is okay. He's thinking about his move. So was it Australia thingy? Knight d6. Nothing's happened there either. So which one was it? As that against Kamsky, still rook d2. I'm in against Robson. Maybe there was activity there. So taking, and there was knight a3 on that b5 square. Akobian thingy. No, I think that's the most exciting game for me personally. I think bishop c4. I think this idea of giving back the pawn is quite interesting. For d6, so something like bishop c4 seems to force bishop e6. b6 seems to be quite a forcing move. I don't know how black reacts to that. Just to, the rook, just to naturally give the rook, lateral pressure. If we can win d6, even if rook c8 looks dangerous here, I don't think it's that dangerous. Mind you, let's just go simply here. If we went simply with taking here for rook c8 is probably this knight's doing something. I don't know. Queen d5. we're actually threatening rook takes f6 now at pin. No, black's knight is up to mischief here. I think that looks very nice for white. He's could just put rook on d1. Hmm. What do you think of the USA beating Russia the other day? Ah, yes, yes, I had to cover that game. I thought that was a key encounter so far. USA, Russia, and in particular Nakamura against Kramnik. Yeah, I wasn't sure about doing anything live on this because it's actually quite complicated, isn't it, to choose the game of interest. It's not like, you know, the World Championship is much simpler to follow. The game's chosen for you. But no, I think this is an interesting game. If we just go back, okay, it looks as though the most obvious move in the position. Hang on a sec. I'm just gonna back in a moment. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Is there any other amazing idea here apart from bishop c4? I don't know. What would you guys think if you played white here? What would you play? I mean, it connects the rooks as well. I mean, just from a positional point of view, we're connecting the rooks. I suppose b6 immediately needs to be factored in. Is that more effective to play b6 immediately? We're going to go into this rook c8. This position, I don't know if there's a forcing move here or... I don't think this is that good. As bishop c4. G5 to be considered open diagonal. Let's check G5 here. Right, let's have a look at G5. So we have this diagonal. Yeah. Mustafa, so are you rooting for Egypt today, I guess? You say you're Egyptian, so you're rooting for Egypt today, so against America, USA. Akobian probably has got a higher FIDE than his opponent, I suspect, because one of them's not IM. I don't know, this guy, so Labib, I don't know his FIDE rating. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a quick look at the other games again. So in this match, Izzat against Kamsky. Kamsky looks to be in a bit of a bind on this D file. Amin against Robson. I don't know where this knight's going to be chased with F5. Does it go back to C4? Knight D2 C4. So Robson's got to be careful not to be overstretching, but D3 looks a potential target at some point. Honest joke against Abdul. I don't know about what's going on here. Rook D8 and then Rook C7. Is that dangerous? Rook C7. Might be threatening Rook takes F7 for mating on G7. Rook C7 looks... No, that's Queen E1 check. Rook C... Oh, I think I need separate analysis boards, but Rook C7 there's Queen E1 check. So White needs to... so after the Rook moves... Well, the Rook... If the Rook moves to D8, sorry, then Rook C7. Okay, if the Rook stays just with E7, there's Knight takes F5. So White might want to give some space for his king at some point. But let's go here. Let's go to the what looks to be the most juicy game. So why did he do that? Yes, good question. Why did he do that? Why did Black play Rook F7? Was White actually... White's actually threatening the C7 pawn as well, actually. So Rook F7, if we just look at the obvious Queen takes C7 for a moment, it does indirectly defend C7. So Bishop takes G4, and we're on the Queen. And then we're on this. Now if Black played Rook C8 instead, actually we've got check to take this A4. It's not easy to play Rook C8, it's a weakness of the last move. So Bishop here, we can maybe just take here, being a bit greedy. I don't know. That looks as though the Knight might be in a bit of trouble with Bishop C4 now. So how do we actually defend C7 here? If Queen D8, then check. We've got things like Bishop G5. No, maybe not Bishop G5. That looks vulnerable to G5 anyway. I don't know how to defend C7. The time has stopped. Oh. Okay, if I close that, and try and reset it. Hang on a sec then. Akobian. That seems to be the latest move. I don't know if the time has stopped, but it seems to be the latest move. I don't know. Is that a reason why? Do you think to stop C7? Yeah, Paul Georgiou is technically still a member of Barnet Chess Club, but he's he's not that local anymore, so he just comes for special occasions to help Barnet in special, like the annual 5-minute chess and stuff like that. Yes, he's a bit further away now, so. But he was a long-time member of Barnet Chess Club. It's G-E, actually, there's no H. G-E-O-R-G-H-I-O-U. So, I think we're left with rook f7 here, but this looks as though, you know, bishop c4, bishop e6. I think b6. I don't know what you guys think of this. b6. It looks quite strong. Oh, one moment. I'm just gonna take a call. Hold on a sec. Back in a minute. What's happened here? Anything? Let's have a look. This one, nothing. I mean, against Robson. Okay. I'm going for. Actually, okay, let's have a quick look at this. Should C4. That's C5 here instead. Don't think that helps. Okay, yeah. What's wrong with queen takes? On C7. I can rearrange the chat over there or something. Let's check my stream windows here. Oh, queen takes C7. Did he resign? Oh, sorry, did he resign? Oh, Muppets. It does say examined in the past tense. Let's have a quick look. Did actually Black resign? It still seems to be live. Doesn't seem to give a result. China, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Russia. Okay. So this is round 4. Egypt against USA. So look at the Iranian game. Oh, I'm messing up the whole thing. Something in the Iranian game. Oh, huh? I'll put my windows back actually. We've had to move somewhere. Oh, having some move somewhere. Alright, what's going on here? Been some movement here, I think. What? What? Hang on. What's this? B5 knight c4? What on earth is that? What is going on here? Is that against Kamsky? Got some moves. So we had this position. Queen b3, rook d8, knight d4. g3, rook c2, knight f6. Oh, it's knight d2 now. 27. He's only got 3 minutes. Kamsky's only got. Has he really only got 3 minutes? Oh, his increment. He's getting 30-second. Is it 30-second increment? It looks as though it's 30-second increment per move. Was that right? So he's down to 4 minute 31, but with a 30-second increment, it's not really time pressure, is it? He's controlling b4. Okay. So Amin Robson seems to have a crazy sequence. Did they really get this right? So apparently, takes, I can understand that so far. Queen d7, bishop g4, the queen moves. Bishop h3, bishop h1, b5, and apparently knight ac4. What's this about? Intriguing. Intriguing game. Oh, he's going to take and then take on d3 maybe, and then f5 and e4. It looks quite aggressive. So Akobian, I don't know if that game's finished. Akobian it does seem to be examined. Oh, it's definitely finished. Is that on the official site? Should we close that one off then? Alright. Actually, I can use my iPhone just to make sure on results in a sec. As well. or a second monitor on my iPad. If I think about this, I should have my iPad. One sec, just going to get my iPad for some extra info. Okay, I'm going to assume that's finished. I'm just going to go to this other game then. Kamsky. Oh, there's a chaos here ensuing. What? Don't get this. Bishop h3. Oh, he took. Yeah, that's more sensible. That's hitting the knight. It's fine. Nothing dramatic. Black seems to be doing okay. It's queen b3, rook a3. Oh, that knight on d6. Yes, Akobian. Yes, I'm just checking my iPad. Yeah, so the Akobian game is definitely a win for Akobian. Black just resigned. Yeah. After rook f7 with the move, Black resigned that. It did seem as though bishop c4 was fairly crushing, but there might also be some other moves which are good as well. But I think bishop c4 followed by bishop e6 is looking strong here. So Black resigned that. So yeah, okay. So so at the moment the Robson game looks interesting. Actually, if we can quickly get this on the analysis board as well, that would be very, very useful. If we can just apply the position, and I'm just going to quickly Yeah? Yeah, what's up? Okay, yeah, go on. Yeah? If you want. I can go to this Robson game. Position. Oh, that was a good trick, wasn't it? I found a new trick. Okay, got some new tricks up my sleeve here for loading the position in. Down to a minute. It's 30-second increment, isn't it? Isn't it a 30-second increment? Alright, who's making moves here? Oh, right. White won the queen there. What happened here? Knight d6. Queen a1. He's protecting his back row. That was a neat move. Oh, he won the exchange. Ah. No, he won the queen. Right. Do I have any Harding Simple Chess Publishing? No. No. Oh, actually, I think I've got an old Karpov Korchnoi matchbook. So who's moving here? These guys? Well, it's not that exciting there, I don't know. This one? Something's happened here. Exchange of queens. That's c5 squares in black's control. Knight b3, I think it's going to be a draw. So the d7, it must be a draw, surely. Coming up there. And the board's doing over here. Four. No, it's got to go there, I think. Knight e4, queen c4. I think white must play this. Queen b4, taking the rook. must play this. Let's have a look at this. If the rook moves here, knight takes b2, and the queen. Knight b7, I think. Okay, let's check these others again. So this position, it's trying to contest that c5 square. Okay, rook c8. This is knight d5 potentially. So this is game one. Let's put this on the board for analysis. Yeah, it's a 30-second increment. So every time they move, they get an extra 30 seconds, I think. It's hard to get into massive time trouble with that. So king g2. King f8. What's happened there? King f8, okay, h4, bishop b4. So he's stopping doubling of rooks on d7. It's also that entry point that's been stopped. I think black's fairly solid. I don't know if the knight can go here. Opposite coloured bishops coming up. I don't think they're handling the. I don't think the ICC really might not be handling the timing around clocks that brilliantly at the moment. Aha. Rook d4. And then what? What's going on? It must be the Robson game, surely. A lot of activity. Oh, hang on. We did see knight b7. Queen b4. Taking. What is black threatening? We just. He can't use d8 at the moment. This looks useful. I don't know. I think Robson's got the pressure. This game. Fortress opportunity. This b7, this a6 pawn rather. It's going to be a problem at some point. Check and queen b6. This is quite exciting. Oh, my favourite World Championship match is, of course, 1972, Fischer-Spassky. And my favourite game in that, I think, is Game 6. The Queen's Gambit declined. Let's get the let's get the position for this. If the rook moves over here, let's say rook a7. No, not rook c8 check. Rook c8, there's knight e7 check. He's actually moved to okay, to a2. And knight d4. What's on that knight? Threatening mate. So that had to be stopped. There's actually a threat of mate. So b4 stops the threat of mate. Quite amusing. His knight's protected anyway. So so b4 against the threat of mate there. This pawn is potentially quite dangerous. So was that worth it? I think white's got something here with this pawn. If he takes, sorry, if white takes, sorry, if white threatens and just exchange off rooks, then this pawn is kind of dangerous. We can just exchange off rooks. Potentially. I don't know if is Robson in trouble. King h7. He's avoiding. Okay, let's say knight takes d4. Rook a8. Bishop c8 is a bit radical. It looks, I don't know if bishop c8 is a playable move. It looks a bit absurd. But if we did exchange off rooks, isn't white better here? Because this pawn's like much easier, isn't it much easier to blockade? Or maybe it's a move like f4 and then king f2. Is white better? What do you guys think here in this position after king h7? Do you think knight takes d4? Do you think white's a bit better? Because he's got this passed pawn. I think the passed pawn's interesting here on b4. Let's have a look at these other games. Kamsky, was that a draw or something? What happened there? It's examined. Rook d4, d5. That's a bit of a pain for c4. Blimey. Blimey, has white been totally outplayed because of d5? That looks okay. Does it? Black's rooks look greatly coordinated here. I think Kamsky visually looks better. He's got everything coordinated. Should we get another analysis board out so to avoid switching between the two? I don't know what's the best way of doing this. Let's have a look at this. F5 if we just take. No, don't take those d5. Don't take d5. That's not good. Is it? There's knight c3. And we're on a4 as well. Maybe that's. I'm going to take it. I don't know. It looks as though. Complicated positions. Don't even need takes needs to be examined. But let's have a look at this other one. Emin Robson. Something happened here. So b4 takes. I think. Isn't. Yeah, this passed pawn is dangerous. White check Abdul. He's going for that a6. Oh, f2, okay. And then b5. And then a2. Don't know. Fortress. Kamsky game, so that f5 is dramatic looking from what it was. d3. Alright, he's played bishop c6. Bishop c6. Aha. I think that's a good move. d3. Stop pushing his pawn. So what did bishop c6 really do? It stopped. Just support b5 only, bishop d7. Let's load that up. b6, b5. Let's blockade it. How do we stop this pawn? Do you think white's better here? So, oh, hang on. There's rook C. There was rook c8. So maybe that was annoying for white as well. So bishop c6. Yeah. Okay. I think it might be more than just the pawn. It might be shielding the c file. Nick Gattrell, what's your favourite World Championship match in history? B5, rook d8. So b5, rook d8. I think bishop d2. Blockade. What's wrong with bishop d2? Anyone got any ideas? Bishop d2. Alright, what's happening here? Oh, this is a turn up for the books. Knight e4, f5, that was taken. Takes g6, h5. I think knight c3 tasty. Why isn't knight c3 quite tasty here? Oh, I shrink this to get 2 for the price of 1 here. We'll just put that on a sec. There's new game board, and I just lost the other one. Huh? Just want this position. I'm going to check out this position. No, it's getting a bit messy. Let's close this. Let's just put this here. Let's get this back. H5, just knight c3. What's wrong with knight c3 here? So this. I played rook e8. Wow. h5. Okay, what happened there? h5, rook e8. This came from there. No, the knight. Oh, right, knight e4. I think there's quite a few. Alright, let's just get that position. So rook e8 is the position. So he's keeping in reserve knight c3, and he's going to be on e3. Okay, that e3's. I think white's disintegrating here. He seems to have a lot of structural issues. So hg, fg, I guess. Doesn't it depend on how powerful the you could have multi-processor pads like Samsung. They might be multi-processor if they're not already. I don't know what the state of the art is, but I think how well the engines work with multi-processors is just like normal desktops, could be a significant thing. How does white get this position? I mean, that's intriguing how white was seemingly... He had a pleasant position, it seems, I thought. What happened here? I suppose he's always got the backwards C pawn. And when he played A4, he gives up the B4 square. So he gave up the b4 square. And black's starting to make inroads here. As f4, f5 is weakening the structure actually. It's fragmenting the structure of white's structure. e3 is actually another potential backward pawn now along the e file. So there's 2 backward pawns. With knight c3 as an issue. Alright, what's happening here on... Okay, what's going on here? Robson. Aha. So rook, bishop d2 was played. Rook a4. Oh. This is interesting for rook d4, b6. That stops rook a4. Rook c4, threatening mate. No, it's not. b7. We should put that on the board. Let's put this on the board here. If in this position, I think we'd go for an exchange sec. b6. How do we stop this pawn? Oh, maybe it's not a big deal. Or even bishop c8, maybe. b6, rook d8, b7. I suppose we're always tied down to this. It's not a good idea to set the exchange. He can't get his king out. This pawn pinned. Yeah, I won a game. I think my last club game seemed to be about an isolated pawn. It's always good to isolate the opponent's pawns, especially ones on backward pawns on semi-open files. It's always good fun to torture those pawns. But here, okay, how does the king get out? He's blockading on b6. Yeah, how do we lift this blockade? I don't know how does white make progress in this position? Any ideas? How does white make progress? Is it an equality here? Because this d pawn. Oh, rook b4, of course. Yeah, that's a pretty simple idea, to play b6. And if it takes b7, we're not getting mated yet on c1. So b6 looks to be, maybe Robson's in trouble. Yeah, that's a very, very simple. Just for b6. Because then we can give up the bishop. I mean, let's give black a move. Just say, we play this. We give up the bishop, b7. And we've got no check. Otherwise it would be mate as well. So this position, he's just gonna. So the bishop's very useful just to give a bit more time for b6. I think Robson might be in trouble here. So Mustafa, you might be winning on this board. Egypt, you're hoping Egypt will win today, yeah? We'll win 1 or 2. Oh, bishop b6, right? What's happening here? Bishop b6, rook h4. Blimey. Oh! Oh, blimey! I'd never spotted that. Oh, man. That was out of the blue completely. I thought it was all about the passed pawn. Oh, what a shot. Rook h4. Oh, man. He's getting rid of this guy. So his king will be able to get to g2. And he's winning a pawn. That looks like a disaster for Robson. This loose piece seems to be a disaster. Loose pieces and double attacks. Disaster. Wow. Hang on, bishop d7, okay. It's fighting back. But there's bishop takes f4 here to try and win the rook. Oh no, we got the pawn after. So bishop takes. It's getting a bit messy. I don't know what's going on here. Bishop d7. What do we do? Take on h6. We'll take on d7. What? I don't think we want our rook stranded on h6. Bishop f4. No, I think we've got to keep blockade on d3. Let's take it here. Takes. We've got bishop f8 check.
Check.
King moves, bishop takes, d2, queening. That's not good. We'll just take here, take here, then come back with the check. So we're pawn up. Same coloured bishops. And actually, for example,
check.
There's a bit of a problem over here with this check, maybe. Mind you, rook e2 is looking dangerous there. Okay, so what do I do here? Yeah, rook h4 looked good. Bishop d7 looks good as well. Any ideas for white in this position? Is there something that white can do non-controversially? Any ideas? Nick Gatrell says, do you think it was a shame that Richard Reti and Aaron Nimzovich did not win the World Championship as two of the hypermodernists? Well, I guess, but Alexander Alekhine, okay, he didn't use much of the Alekhine defence, but the Alekhine defence can be considered to be hypermodern in that it's not directly occupying the centre. I don't know, they got a bit of publicity, I think, for that, for hypermodern ideas. I think Nimzovich's My System put him on the map. That book, My System. In any case, and he did also beat Alekhine. Nimzovich beat Alekhine once or twice. So I think they had good, and Reti beat Capablanca. So I think the hypermodernists did actually beat the world champions anyway, as sort of proof of concepts. and Alekhine defense opening, sort of hyper-modernish. Don't know. I think Capablanca was more like classical positional play, and Alekhine did rejuvenate the game with more ideas, richer tactical ideas. So, you know, chess was kind of made more complicated again, I think, when Alekhine took over from Capablanca. Rook c4. Oh, that's an interesting idea. You want to play rook c4. Alright, so just probing on that h6 and just coming back might be the best move in the position. Yeah, so what was the point of rook h4? Oh, we're going to see if black repeats, because otherwise the king's coming out. I suppose the change in the position, the king's not a prisoner right now. Actually, if we go here, what about bishop takes... No, bishop takes h6 is not a good idea, d2. We've got to keep the blockade. So, I don't know, does the bishop just go back to keep the king a prisoner? King's a prisoner right now. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm giving any much insight here. I'm just it's just an experiment. It's just really an experiment. But it's up to you guys. You know, you guys be insightful here. I'm without my my two co-hosts. I'm just so let's see. I mean, what's happening here? Does bishop h3 to imprison the rook? I mean, imprison the king again. Otherwise, king g2 is a very desirable move, surely. Isn't that the kind of threat with rook c4? Yeah. So, okay. So imagine. Is there anything else? Because we're keeping that bishop out. What about just king g2? Takes.
Check.
Take here. Again, probably too dangerous, I suppose. King moves. Bishop somewhere. This pawn's too much of a pain, I think. That's okay. Oh, rook takes h6. Oh, more technical. It looked odd positioning, as though a rook was getting stranded, but he seems to have played it. Yeah, we can't take these things for granted. That rook takes h6 it's not. Yeah, maybe it is the most logical move. If the rook can just reroute out quickly. Okay, so why has he played this? There's bishop f4. No. Well, he just takes on d7. He just takes on d7 and get the rook out again. Over here. Has he got time for this? Coming down the c-file. I don't know. Is there time for stranding the rook and doing this? We take on d7. Let's go through this again. Go here. I can't imagine the rook. Wait a sec. No, I'm pretty sure the rook has to come back. Then we got this, and we're coming down here. I can't be. King g7. It's bishop c3 check.
Check.
We lose the rook. So no, we just play rook h4. Actually, check here.
Check.
Is it f6? Oh, it's hopeless. don't know what's the matter with king g7. Let's have a look at what's going on here. How's that Kamsky? So 2 backward pawns, and e3 is under great scrutiny here. e3 is dropping off. After e3 drops off, I think the black pawns start moving forward. That's fairly unpleasant opposite colour bishop scenario. This one, one's got this b pawn, which could be a useful distraction for getting the pieces uncoordinated, the rook and bishop uncoordinated. Can they really stop the b pawn? And b6 now, b6. I think the queen keeps an eye on this diagonal to stop bishop d5. So queen, that looks as though it could be winning for white. Queen c6, b7. I mean, white seems to be making progress. This seems to be the most interesting game, because what is the rook doing there? How does it get out? Why isn't king g7 being played? There's a move. Okay, whose move? Not that one. Rook e5. Rook e5. I think that's difficult for black. Okay, I think white has to take. We have rook h4, and then I don't know. Okay, rook c7 looks dangerous. Just to come to c2. Oh, guys, look at this! I've just realised something.
Check.
No, I didn't cheat with an engine. I've just seen this. I've just seen this idea that rook b4 is a resource. No, honestly, I didn't find that from an engine. That this might be something, but I think it's equal. I was just wondering how on earth is rook c2 stopped. So you have to start looking at the outrageous ways that rook c2 is stopped. So rook b4. Then rook b2. I don't know. T-shirt, can you give us insights on what extra things you did to improve, especially if you can't play many over the board games? Are you a strong advocate of tactics as well as playing lots of blitz? My pet theory at the moment is chess is a lot about double-edged swords. You know, everything you think about in chess, just think there's upsides and downsides. That's my current pet theory, but I do vary my pet theories from every year. And I haven't made much progress in chess for about 20 years, so I'm not really sure. But at the moment, it seems to be working for me to more keep an open mind about anything you think about in chess. So for example, you say, are you a strong advocate of tactics? Tactics has a weakness. You know, you could play a brilliant combination. Right at the end of it, the opponent's got passed pawns or greater central, you know, control. So you need, you know, positional evaluation as well. Okay, so you end up working hard during a game, thinking hard tactically, but thinking hard positionally, thinking hard about the end game scenarios. It all comes together, and hopefully, you know, you can, you know, improve. If you just have one angle like tactics, then you're leaving yourself wide open, you know, to evaluation issues. For example, this is my theory at the moment. You know, everything comes together. You can't just think like tactically. But anyway, so oh yeah,
Check.
this is a good point. D2 is winning anyway. No, that doesn't work, does it? So that's a failed tactic idea. So not forget rook b4. Oh, blimey. Oh, see, I told you I hadn't engine checked this. Oh, come on. Is there a move here? King f1. King f1. We can play king e1. Let's see if we can get back here. We can play rook c4.
Check.
Like this. Okay, that's probably more likely. So I think I'll improve this with king e1. Hang on, there's bishop takes f2. This gets a bit complicated. Check. King d1. Rook moves. Not here because of bishop c3.
Check.
So let's move the rook to a2. And we've got interesting position. Oh, what on earth? We don't want this check for bishop e3. Maybe just check here.
Check.
So what do you think about this then? Okay, so king f1. Forget I mentioned rook b4. King f1. Is that better? King f1. Anyone try and refute king f1? It's going to be back in a minute. I'm just putting this banana peel away. King f1. Rook e7. Rook c5. What? Are you kidding me? I didn't see this at all. This wasn't on my radar, this move. Are you kidding me? Rook h3. Wow. Of course. Now that it's mentioned, g4 just in time. What a brilliant move. When's the pawn up? When's the pawn up? White shouldn't be lost. Why are you being so negative, Mosterfeld? Why is white lost? An amazing concept. I mean, to strand the rook temporarily, just to go to h3 for g4. Amazing. It's amazing. It's like getting away with, think of the most artificial, looking moves you would never think of if you're a human being. And I come up with these moves. I come up with rook takes h6, stranding the rook. And then later you can think about rook h3, where the rook seems to be doing absolutely nothing, but then g4. It's quite amazing. Amazing. He's just taken away h3 control. That's a weakness of the last move, getting rid of that bishop. So that was a blind spot before, that white could ever use h3, and white's using h3 now. It's incredible, because h3 was always under black's control until the very last move, exchanging off that bishop. And it's amazing that this is not only defending the pawn, it will be defending the bishop instantly. Great. I said incredible. It must have been missed. I mean, incredible. I mean, it's such a simplified position. But these two moves, I mean, look, how many of us would find rook h6 and rook h3, in all honesty? No, seriously, in all honesty, would anyone really find that? It just looks like really artificial looking moves, but total precision, because there was an involvement of bishop d7 to weaken h3 there. It's just coming back for this pawn just in time, so he remains a pawn up after nabbing the h6 pawn. Incredible. I mean, this sort of stuff is called pyrotechnics sometimes, but it's not like amazing. It's not like there's tons of pieces on the board for tactical craziness. It's quite a simplified position for this sort of thing to happen. I suppose we could try f5, g4, hang on, f5. I think we can win. Check bishop d4. Does this get even crazier now after g4? So fg, we've got a check here.
Check.
And now if bishop d4, we've got rook d3. Now that's pins, so there's no bishop f2. And if the king moved, we can exchange off the rook.
Check.
And then come for this pawn later. That's crazy. FG, bishop c3.
Check.
We're definitely going to exchange.
Check.
Could exchange off that rook.
Check.
Let me get to
Check.
this position and play king g2. And this pawn, we're going to mop up that pawn. Cool, blimey, it's amazing. So complicated. f5. What do you think the likelihood of f5 is here? Does anyone think f5's a likely move? There's also consideration of, I don't know, f4. What do we do with f4? This check again.
Check.
Is that an improvement? This position.
Check.
For black, we've got king g2. We're coming to f3. Oh, it's incredible tactics. You see, that carries a weakness to the last move, that we're weakening this second row, making this actually more effective for a rook h7 to take off the rook. It's incredible stuff. I don't know. So g4.
Check.
Here. How to react to this move? I don't know, what do we do if we're not playing f5? White's threatening just g4 and maybe even g5, you know, for bishop c3 check. And then bishop f6 is a mating net, you know? So this could actually... What goes there? g4. That's embarrassing, g4 here. Oh, I can rule out that. f5. Should we see what's happening in the other games quickly? How's that against Kamsky? So he won that pawn. So black is a pawn up, and it looks a little bit grim, but it's opposite colored bishops. And Onishchuk is, I don't know, making. Oh, cruel tactic. I think he's just won because if takes, there's no stopping the pawn. The pawn's queening there. That's quite a neat finish here. If we have a look at this, look at this. If takes, there's no stopping the pawn, is there? That's cruel, isn't it? Oh, just queening. Right, so we'll go back to the other one. So I suppose that was over. Oh, so f5 has been played. We have to play g4, I think. No, king g8 doesn't stop. King g8 here. Well, I think we could just play. Well, there's a number of things now we can play. Maybe just taking here and then just king g2. Just to try and get the king. I don't know. The king out. Look, we need that part for the rook. That's interesting to play king g8, yeah. Okay, so g4. Things are really hotting up in this simplified position. Dynamic endings, dynamic indeed. So what time, UK time, did these start? Was it 3 o'clock? Was it 2 o'clock? Pardon me. Do they start 2 o'clock? I'll check that out if no one knows. Maybe try and catch it a bit earlier tomorrow or something. Possibly. King f6. King f6. You want to try king f6? G5 check? No, bishop c3. Yeah, king f6. That's very complicated. Maybe just take this. Just take it. 3 o'clock UK time, is it? Hang on, we're just losing the bishop like this. Ooh. So king takes. Maybe it's drawish, I don't know. King f6. F4. You want to go with F4? We can't play F4, it's pinned. I think maybe just taking. What's happened here? He's played king F. Whoa! He played king F1. Forget G4, he's played king F1. This looks a bit vulnerable, this. That's when they rook a8. I mean a7 to come to the check. The pawn's controlling e2. It does look a bit on the artificial side to have the rook there. Check.
Check.
And we're just taking off that rook. So that's not a big deal. I'll just take the rook off.
Check.
So here, we go g4 here. Just going to see about this phone call. Wait, did you call? I'm not really sure. Yeah, I know there is a risk of losing. There's a risk of losing 12 money, isn't there? There's quite a lot of money there. Yeah, I asked Andrew Stone, and he reckons it's not as good as he is. What's happening here? Right, okay. So what has happened? Rook d5, king e1. Okay, guys, I don't know. I think this is going to last hours. This sort of game. I don't know. Should we stop here? It was just an experiment. Should we stop here? So I might do a video on the game when it's finished. That's probably a bit easier. I think I've got to go now. Okay, so thanks for coming. See you later, I think. It could, with the increment, it could last hours and hours and hours, this game. So, cheers. All right.